Hello, hello. Welcome. Thursday morning. I appreciate y'all being here and having the patience because I had to change some things around yesterday and then I had to move this earlier because of another doctor's appointment. But this should be my last one. And then I should have the full, clean bill of health and be able to not have to go to the doctor much anymore this year. Marcus TZM seems like Cheap Audio Man has problems using the letter C in the English language. And there is a CH at the end of clips. It's not pronounced clips. Thank you. All right. Problems using the letter C. Well, I don't know. I can say critical. I could say condescending. I say cheap all the time. CH. I have no problems with cheap. I apologize. Marcus TZM. I know how difficult that must be for you. Everybody has a problem with C in the English. I have more problem saying English than anything else. Got my cup of coffee. Ready to go. We got a big announcement about next week. Mobile Mutant, cup of coffee. Love it. Randy Bahima, morning, everyone. Hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great day, Randy. Morning, folks. I have meetings I need to attend, but it helps Randy if I'm here, just with volume off, correct? I don't know how YouTube monetizes live streams. I don't know. They do, I think, commercials at the beginning. And then I think they even do commercials kind of during the live stream now. Let's see what I have set up here. It's taken a while. All right, content, live. This should be live. It is live. Let's go there. Let's go here. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, I think they do ads before and ads during. We'll go back here to Chrome. All right. Hey, Zach, Ari. Hey, Gage. A countdown. Tama Keelong, story shorter. Good morning. Dr. Jellyfinger. I don't know. Greetings from Rome. Ooh, favorite city I've ever been to in Europe. It is awesome. I love Rome. I want to go back. I cannot wait. Have you ever tried DefTech speakers, specifically the BP10s? No, I have some DefTech like Cinema 1000s or something like that. I use them for surrounds, though. Louis Sipes, my man, my brother from another mother, my Louisville buddy. Love you, man. Glad you're here. What up, Steve Zeidman? Another brother of mine. Louis and Steve know each other. Hello from southwestern Utah. Hey, Randy, coming at you from Rockville, Maryland, less than a mile from Capitol Audio Fest Hotel, where we met in the Gishelli rooms. Hey, Douglas, glad to have met you. Good morning from Kingwood, Texas. Good morning. I'm glad to see y'all here. All right. You got any questions, comments, concerns before we jump into things? Do you still like the SMSL SA300 amp at $140? You know, it's okay. That 12070 Infineon chipset, I think, has been really superseded by the Texas Instruments chips. I think I can't remember the model name of it now. The IEMA, I think it's D something. Anyway, they have an integrated amp. I think it sounds great. I think it sounds better. They actually have a couple, and they have Texas Instruments chips. I think the the Duke Audio ST01-Pro, right about the same price, and I think that sounds better. I think the SA3 is a little bit long in the tooth right now, and people are starting to figure out that wasn't the most natural sounding chipset. And I think people have switched over to a lot of stuff with the Texas Instruments chips, including topping. Hey, look at that. 10 euros. Have and not too cheap cup of coffee. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, Tech Med Rainer Richter. You are the best. Good afternoon from a very windy London. Good afternoon. I think it's supposed to be windy today. Do you have any experience with Arundel sound speakers? I do not. I don't have any experience with them. Happy spring equinox week. Happy spring equinox week to you. What up, spam can? Spam can. Need to have some spam. Do you cover 2-channel stereo systems or just surround sound? I cover everything. Mostly 2-channel. Although I've done a bunch of, not a bunch, I've done some home theater lately. Happy colonoscopy. Thank you, Dylan. Everything came out fine. I think they removed a couple of polyps or something like that. But yeah, I mean, they were telling me this while I'm like coming out of anesthesia, waking up. So they're like, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. What did you say? They're like, we're going to give you the folder. I'm like, well, am I going to understand it? She's like, it was one of these. Everything's fine. I'm like, all right. Hey, Randy, new subscriber from Gettysburg, PA. My Fluence RT85 arrives today and also ordered, thanks to your excellent review, also ordered the Fluence preamp. Have you had any experience with that? I have not had any experience with preamp. I don't think I have with a preamp. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think I've heard that preamp. Will a separate phono amp make a big difference on a Yamaha ES301? Is it ES3 or is it AS301? Is that what you're saying as far as the integrated amp? Depends on the phono preamp. If it's like, I don't know. I think even though the Fozzy Audio, the $60 one, I think it's, kind of, that's a warm and lush phono preamp. If I'm reading your question right, assuming on your question, I think you mean AS301, which is an integrated 2-channel amplifier. I think it sells for $350. Here's a couple of ones that I think would be better than that. I actually think the Fozzy might not necessarily be better, but it's going to give you a different sound signature. I think I know the iFi Zen Phono is going to be a significant step up from a clarity and noise standpoint. And I would imagine the Schiit Phono preamp is going to be better. What up, Kevin? Any thoughts on how to add a sub to a Fozzy TB10D setup? Yes, speaker level inputs. Actually, TB10D, no, it does not. Yeah, speaker level inputs. Yeah, that's how you would do it. And the speaker level inputs are going to be on the sub. So whatever sub you get, there should be like speaker posts on the back of it. You can do one of two things. Sometimes they have speaker in and speaker out on the back of that. But I mean, you can just run your speaker binding post to your speakers and then just run kind of a little jumper right and left off of that to your subwoofer. It's not a load. So the subwoofer is not drawing a load off of the terrific. It's not pulling a load off or putting a load on the amp. So you can do it that way. And there's a ton of subs out there. Like speaker level inputs in some cases are the connection choice that a lot of people like. And some of the manufacturers actually want you to do it that way. 50% coffee, 50% charity. Yes, Martin, thank you. I don't know. We need to give some to charity. I need to go back because there's one that I didn't give anything to charity. So I need to go back and give some. Sorry. My action figures fell off. I need to get the little things that you can stick their feet into so that they don't fall over. Have a little bit more surface area. because I'm a child. I'm a child. All right. Any more super chats? No. What are your thoughts on Marant's New Line Cinema? I don't think I've listened to any. I was at Best Buy the other day and I went into I don't know what you call it. The starts with an M. Magnolia. I went into the Magnolia section and they had a cool looking Marantz. Very cool looking Marantz. Sub after Fozzy. Use Emotiva sub between the Fozzy speaker outputs and the speakers for the crossover. Yeah, I'll just use the speaker level inputs. But yeah, I want to upgrade my Bose 301 series. They are in direct sound and I am used to them. What kind of speakers should I go with? What price range do you think I should look for? I think that's up to you, Retiro. I think whatever your budget is, then you should start, looking at some stuff that's in that category. But if the 301s, I'm not familiar with the 301s. If it's a indirect, is that what you said? Indirect sound. I mean, I would look at whatever's in your price range. And then the Bose are pretty neutral. So I think you're going to hear not neutral. I think the Bose are rolled off on the high end. So I think there's going to be a lot of clarity, but without knowing your price range, I mean, I don't know where you're from. Are you in Spain? I would look at Wharfdale, Q Acoustics, Kef Q150s. Look at those. The average audio, $10. Thank you. Randy, I know you once said your left channel is a little lower than your right. Is this normal, or do you think there's something going on with my amp? I know you once said your left channel is a little lower than your right. Is this normal, or do you think? Okay, so I think you're having the same problems that I had. Mine was a function of the room. So on the left side, my room was more open, so there wasn't as much boundary reinforcement on the left side of my room. So that's why the left seemed a little bit lower. I don't know what your room looks like. It could be, but if you have a balance control, you can just shift a little bit over to the left. So yes. But that was the reason why my left channel seemed a little bit lower. Zach M2020. Morning, Randy. $5. Thank you so much. Would you prefer the Polk R100 or the Wharfdale Denton 80th in a near field desktop setup? Wharfdale Denton 80th. Without a doubt. Actually, I've been listening to the Wharfdale Evo 4.1s. I haven't listened to those for a long time, and boy, did I forget how good they were. I think they are more than the $600 of the Denton 80th edition, though. But they're really good. I'm like, I put them back up. I'm just like, yeah, I forgot how good these were. So I'm having a great time with these Wharfdale. I'm a bit of a Wharfdale fanboy. I love the Linton. I love the Denton 80th, and I love the Evo 4.1s. I need to put something else up here, though, so I'm not a ringer. 301 Series V are great. 8-inch woofers and 2 tweeters. Oh, wow. Soundbars. I hate them. What are your thoughts on them, Randy? This is a good question. So I am in the process of putting together a very expensive home theater setup in my living room, which includes a RMC1L from Emotiva. They did not send it to me. I did a deal with them where I traded in my Marantz receiver last October when they had the Bring Out Your Dead special. And then I paid the difference. So I have an RMC1L, which is just a processor up to 16 channels. And the problem is I don't have enough amplifiers to get all of the channels. Anyway, with all that said, it sounds spectacular, but it is also a spectacularly difficult piece of equipment to set up. So it's very complicated. And there is just about every option that you can imagine. And you have to be kind of a power user to get into this thing. I will say, though, that it just sounds incredible. However, if I was not operating that thing and somebody else in my family tried to operate it, they would become confused and angry and probably end up turning on the TV speakers. So I think sound bars absolutely have a place, and that place is for people that want better sound than their TV, don't necessarily have the patience or the technical aptitude to dive all the way into a complicated traditional AVR setup with menus, with levels, with trims, timing delays, different different sound, surround sound, I don't know, like Dolby Atmos, DTS, all that stuff. So yeah, I think they absolutely have a place. And we have a sound bar in the bedroom because my Marantz receiver had so many HDMI issues that it just became silly because I was out of town a lot on work with work, and my wife would just get frustrated. And yeah, when it worked, it sounded great. But we have the Clip Cinema 600 in there with the wireless surrounds. Sounds great. Sounds great. Does it not quite as good as when I had Atmos in there, but I tell you what, it's like not that far away at all. So I think soundbars, absolutely. If you're really just into movies and TV shows, I think some soundbars are fantastic. Absolutely. Mark Riley, $9.99. Thank you, Mark, so much. Thank you for all the great content. I appreciate your perspective. I appreciate you, Mark Riley. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Not even a question in there. Just wanted to thank me. Thank you, Mark. You're the best. All right. Ed G. Hey, everybody. Hit the like button. Yes, if you could do that, that would be great. Please hit the like button. That would be awesome. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. You know what's funny is when I do live streams, I almost always, like when you go to a video, you can look at, what's the total number of subscribers from this video. That number is almost always positive. What's funny is on live streams, it is not uncommon for it to be negative. So live streams, I don't know why, but I think it's people getting to know me personally. They don't like me. I almost always lose subscribers on live streams, which I found very interesting. If LCR doesn't sound good, surround won't matter. Yeah, I agree with that. You know what's amazing is I had the RSL speakers, which sound great, and I put them on, regular amps, and then I put them on my XPA Gen 3, which is a powerhouse from Emotiva. I cannot believe how much better those speakers sound. I mean, they sounded good before. They sound spectacular now. It was really amazing to see what a really beefy amp will do to those speakers. Recommend you check out the HSU Research HB-1 Mark II. Man, that model number just rolls right off the tongue. Horn bookshelf speaker. They are $199 and they sound amazing. The build quality is also top notch. I've heard of HSU before, and I don't know why I haven't gotten those in. I think it might be like, I think there's a company called Audio Advice. I think maybe they are the only distributor of that. Anyway, hey, look at that. Douglas Hernan, $10. Any chance you might review Rogue Audio Sphinx V3 hybrid integrated? I would love to. Still on my long-term buying list. would still love to get your take. $16.95, not cheap, but apparently great bang for the buck. I'd love to. I've never talked to anybody at Rogue Audio, but a lot of my patrons have their products and they love them. So I would be all in on that one if we had a chance to chit chat. Coleslaw, slaws, coleslaw, $20. Just want to say hey and thanks for everything. Thinking about getting a Magnus as the balanced counterpart to my Piety, which pairs beautifully with the 7 Hertz Timeless, by the way. Oh, I bet that does. Do you think this would be a good compliment? I do. I think it would be great. I have never actually heard the Magnus. You know, Jashelli Labs also makes the Irish, which is a fully balanced and only balanced headphone amp. And you know, the Piety isn't really matchy to the Magnus anyway. Check it out. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I like the Irish, but I've been rocking and rolling a bunch of Schiit gear lately, and I'm having a heck of a time. I don't know if your budget allows, but the Lear is bananas. And the tube, little bit thin on there, but the solid state is super punchy and everything. But yeah, I think the Irish or the Magnus for a balanced headphone amp is the way to go. For sure. For sure. Do you have the new Schiit desktop amps? I have the G horns right here. Right here. I was actually just using them to evaluate some DACs. The Lear would be a later upgrade, probably. Yeah. Your current favorite $140 China amp. The ST01 Pro from Duke Audio. But I probably would do it a little bit differently. I would probably take that $140 and build out a bit of a different system. And it would start with either the Fuzzy Audio TB. Come on now. Fuzzy Audio TB10D. And then I could add a DAC because that's only $60. So I would have $80 to add a DAC. This one is the IEMA A08 Pro. I also like this one, but I think this is $111, so it doesn't give you a lot of options for a DAC. But if I was going with an integrated, it would be the Duke Audio ST01 Pro right now. I really like that one. It's kind of basically the T9, but it doesn't have some of the issues that the T9 had. T9 is actually pretty good too, the upgraded version. Excited for the G-Horn review. I am too. I've been running them a lot, and people have been asking, hey, how they sound. Like, they sound good. But most of everything sounds good. The evaluation really comes in when you have to start comparing it to other things. So almost everything, unless it's just not a good product, sounds good. The only thing I really do is talk about the differences between things I already have. So, yes. Thoughts on vintage Macintosh MA5100? Can get this integrated amp for $900, but I don't know if that's a deal or if I'm getting ripped off. Get it. Get it. I don't know. Steve Zeidman's still in here. I'm not going to look it up, but depending upon the vintage, do you know what year this was made? But yeah, if it works for $900, absolutely don't even think twice and get it, because you could probably resell that thing and make a profit if you don't like it. Kevin Gardner, $10. Thanks, buddy. You don't need to give me any money though, Kevin. Hey, Randy, you'll never lose this subscriber. Thank you. Lifer, thanks again for everything. Owe you greatly for all of the advice. Well, thank you, Kevin. Glad you found the extra amp power filled out the speaker performance. Very much so. Really surprised just how much it brought those speakers to life. Is the DSP on my Sony ES the same as DAC? I don't know what the Sony ES is. Is that an AVR receiver? It's not the same thing as a DAC, but it kind of works with your DAC. Just got the G horn yesterday. Cool. I saw the AEMA A07, a 32 volt and 36 volt power supply on Amazon. One is 79 and the other cheapers. One is 79 and the other was 99. Yeah, that seems a bit much because the TB10D comes with 32 volt 5 amp. So, and it's 60. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're saying it's 36 volt. Ah, okay. Well, that's cool that they have options now. I like that. I like that a lot. Mark Silgalis, $4.99. Thank you so much. Best unattractive photo I've heard lately. All hi-fi sounds fake. Just pick the fake you like. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I went to a Static X concert on Friday. So, live music, right? And it sounded a bit echoey. It was like BO, stale farts, spilled beer, and like marijuana. That's what it smelled like. But BO too. And it sounded okay. But I was there for the experience. So compared to that, yes, when I listen to Static X at home, it sounds a lot faker. Fake. I'll take that fake all day long though. Because whoops daisies. Because the real thing isn't always better. All right. Tech Med Rainier Richter, another 10 euros. Didn't remember your charity. So there you are. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. We give to two charities. One is Feed America, and the other one is Homes for Our Troops. They're both U.S. charities, so I appreciate that. I would like to find a worldwide charity because I know many of the viewers don't live in the U.S. So I think we need to find a better worldwide charity. Not a worldwide charity. Greetings from Fort Myers. Does Neil Designs have a 10-inch plan? I'm not sure. You can go to neilblancharddesigns.com. I think that's his website. And you can see what plans he has. I'm not sure what a 10-inch plan, though, is. Real beer farts, etc. when it's live. Yeah. I mean, it was like to the point where I was just covering up my nose every now and again. But I'm just like, this is ridiculous. But that's part of it. And you get a bunch of metalheads together. Can be part of it. A lot of smells. Wayne Static, Rip, was an old friend of mine. Oh my goodness. That's really cool that you knew him. They put on a good show. I saw them open for Rob Zombie, but it was really a scaled back stage show. But this one, I mean, they were headlining and they were really good. The new lead singer had this really cool mask on. So it was really good. Gothenburg, Sweden, to be exact. Hey, Olaf. The real thing is not always better. Truer words unspoken. Yeah. Hey, here's the deal. Like, if you like it, it sounds good to you. Who cares? Who cares what other people think, man? Other people say. Listen to your music the way you like it. Like, who really cares? And even if they're some authority, like if it's a magazine or something, like, it's your music, man. It's like someone telling you shouldn't have bread and butter pickles on your cheeseburger. I'm going to eat it like I want it. TB10D is 89 Canadian with a $10 off coupon on Amazon Canada right now for what it's worth. Worth every penny. Agreed. It's great. Got the A07 at $87 Canadian as well, about the same price. Yeah, they are very similar. Feeding America is totally fine for charity. Though I'm from Germany. Here it's called Tafel. Oh, cool. I would love to go to Germany. My family's mostly of German heritage. I've never been. As a follow-up, have you heard of Hadis balanced cables? I have not. I have not. Why do your thumbnails often have you looking like a homeless person? Well, Ed, it seems to be what people click on. Yeah. Signed up to your Patreon last week. Thank you. Well, thank you, Tama Keel Long Story Shorter. Thank you so much. Funny that you mentioned that the poor reviews kept me away, but they advertise it all of the time. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Dylan. High five photo, Brian. Hello, Randy. Does your new Emotiva home theater pre or receiver remember the trim settings? My old Emotiva pre forgot the trim level when I turn it off. I haven't noticed, man. I am still kind of in the learning stage. So I've gotten it to work and I've kind of trimmed things up a bit. There is like, on mine, there's a preset. So preset 1, preset 2. So I think if you set it in there, it remembers it, but I just don't have enough time with it right now to be able to say this is what works and this doesn't. So it's a very in-depth piece of equipment. And so I'm still kind of getting to know it a little bit better. Tama Key Long Story Shorter loves the thumbnails. Thank you. Listen, I try to make what people click on. And some people make fun of my titles and my thumbnails, but I do what works. I'm here to get views, and I will do whatever it takes to get views. And most of the time, views, you could make the best video on the planet. It could be a review of the Wharfdale Evo 4.1. And I could put review of the Wharfdale Evo 4.1 and a picture of the Wharfdale 4.1 as the thumbnail. Video might do pretty good. If I put Wharfdale Evo 4.1 destroys competition, and then I'm like holding it and then like going like that, and then I have an angel in the background, that video will be clicked on more because it has a better title, one that stirs emotion, and then people recognize people. That's why there's a lot of people in thumbnails. And if you're a person showing emotion, people connect to that subconsciously. So that's why I do it. But I'm not here. I'm here to get views. That's it. I'm here to get as many views as I can and help as many people as I can, put out as much content as I can, and entertain as many people as I can. And playing the thumbnail and the title game, it's not really a game. It's just, if you want to be good, you just got to have good titles and thumbnails. So yeah, a bit of a tangent. I am so sorry I'm late to the discussion. Ooh, we forgot to talk about what we're even here about. Shit, gotta say, I'm a little disappointed that their new amp in the Modius Magnus form factor is only one balanced input. $600 is a bit much for XLR. I'm not really following. Oh, you're talking about the G horn. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, it's $300 for, I think, 10 watts into 2. So yeah, $600, you know, could be considered expensive. I think they sound good. I mean, I'm not saying like it's the last word in amplifiers, but I think they sound good so far. So let's talk about actually what this whole thing is for. I'm going to make sure that I didn't miss any super chats. Okay. So next week, today, so next Thursday, I will be live streaming from Corpus Christi with the folks at Schiit, and they will be announcing a new product. I don't know if they're going to be doing a giveaway or not. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to be putting up a kind of a teaser, not a teaser. I'm going to be putting up a live stream kind of thing. So it tells you what time and the dates and all that good stuff. So that will be going up. Hopefully I will be streaming. I'll be streaming from my channel for sure. Maybe streaming from their Facebook and their YouTube as well, all at the same time. So it's going to be really cool. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk to Jason, probably talk about the G horns, probably talk about the other speaker amp, talk about any other stuff they got going on. And then we're going to be talking about this new product. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. If you're at a metal show and don't smell weed and booze, something ain't right. Well, there was copious amounts of both. At 10-inch mystery equals woofer. I don't think he has a plans for anything with a 10-inch woofer. Maybe. I don't know. You'd have to check it out. Just go to Neil. Let's see, Neil deGrasse. NeilBlanchardDesigns.com, I think, is the his website. Schiit-a-palooza next week. Hey, Chris Dugan, $20. Thank you, my friend. Looking tough with those shades on. I like it. I bought my first Schiit off eBay a few months ago, which lasted all of a day before it crapped out. I contacted their support fully expecting to pay a repair bill. They replaced it for free. Wow, that's cool. I love stories like that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Dang, been chaining your video all morning. It tells me you're live. 35 minutes late. No, welcome. You know, I don't know how these things work. I think like if you're subscribed, you have to turn on notifications. And I think there's like 2 different notification levels that you have to turn on. I'm not sure. I don't do a very good job of saying, hey, subscribe, turn on bell notifications. So yeah, if you are subscribed, you might want to check that out. But yeah, I don't know how it works. Last week, I think I went live and I don't think anybody got notified. And like my number on here was like at 0 for a while, even though I was actually live. It was kind of weird. Wonky. Jashali J2 AKM versus topping E50 DAC. I haven't AB'd them like together. I have listened to both of them. I think those are both the best DACs for the money. I personally would go with the J2 AKM unless I needed a remote control. If I need a remote control, then I would go with the E50. So easy as that. Easy peasy. Opinions on Marantz 7000N for a bedroom setup with bookshelf speakers. I don't know that one, unfortunately. What I will say about Marantz is out of all of the mainstream AVR receivers, integrated amps, outside of maybe Yamaha, I think I like Marantz the best. The PMA 600NE line from Denon is also spectacular. John B, $10. Thank you so much. Just to support your channel. Thanks. Thank you, John B. You are the best. Really appreciate you. All right. Any chance you can review the IEMA T9 Pro? It's a redesigned T9 with lower profile tubes and really cool looking redesign. Would love to know how it sounds. Yes, I have one right here somewhere. I don't know if I love the way it looks though. I kind of prefer the previous generation aesthetically, but yeah, it's forthcoming. It's coming. Are you going to get the Sound Blaster X5 in review? Sounds like a ray gun. Sounds like something from Buck Rogers. Quick, grab the Sound Blaster X5. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Sound Blaster X4 nor the X6, and unfortunately the X5 either. When Jasheli will put in production and for order new amp and DAC from Florida Exhibition. Put in production and for order. And okay, I think you're asking when can you order the new amp and DAC? think you can order the new DAC right now. I'm not sure about their headphone amp. I think it's forthcoming. They are putting in a new line for manufacturing. So, yeah, it's coming. Hey, Randy, FIO KA1, $49.99 versus Dragonfly Cobalt, $199. Are they both dongle DAC? I know that Cobalt's a dongle DAC. I don't know if the fee. I don't have any experience with the KA1. I'll say if you want to go a little bit cheaper, there is a Fozzy Audio that's pretty solid. This one's not bad either. This is a Truth Ear, but that's a lower tier. That's kind of like the Chinese stuff. Oh, it's an external sound card DAC. Probably not. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I use computers, but I'm not like. That's not my area of expertise. You probably don't want me to review that. What's the best speakers for metal music? My favorite band is Metallica. Ooh, very nice. I have an ELAC Debut 5. It depends on what kind of type of sound you're looking for, because different speakers can be great for different things. I think if you like a really forward speaker, you can't go wrong with clips. Actually, sorry, clips. They may not be the most accurate speaker on the planet, but if you like that in your face, clips is a great option. But there's a lot of great options too. I don't know. Are they the debut B6s or debut B5s? Yeah, debut 5. 5.0 or 5.2. Either way, they're pretty good. They're rolled off on top though, so you're not going to get that sizzle. If you want some sizzle, Sony SSCS5s. You're not going to have a lot of bass. I think the Wharfdale Denton 80th edition is actually a very balanced speaker. I think these Wharfdale 4.1 Evo 4.1s are great. The Yamo C93 2. They are awesome and probably would sound really, really good with metal. Love the channel. Any thoughts on the Topping E70V? I don't have that, but thank you, Mr. Valentine, for the $10. I don't have that one. I'd love to get it in though. Bought 2 Agirs as monoblocks and Freya Plus. Happy so far. Very good. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. Did I miss anything? Oh, the Mandalorian. Yes. So I was actually thinking about making a standalone video about this. I'm so dejected. I don't want to give any spoilers here. So for the next 30 seconds or so, I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to say, don't talk to me about the Mandalorian, or I don't care about the spoilers. And while we're doing that, I'm going to put Rogue Slingshot, $9.99. Thank you so much. What would cause speakers to crackle randomly? I've checked the speaker wires, and the HDMI from the source seems solid. It's my Denon AVR just dying. That could be it. Every time I hear crackling or kind of some hiss or something, it's really coming from the amplifier. So, yes. If you've rechecked the wires, if you've replaced the wires and it's still crackling, then it's probably the amplifier. HDMI cables do go bad over time too. So, yeah. All right, let's get back. $5. Thank you, M. Lindsley, 1981. Thank you so much. All right, we got to go ahead, spoil away, whatevs. Mando, 100%. Fire away, I'm all caught up. Grogu is Kaiser Soza. No Mandalorian. Dust. I don't know what that means. Never seen it. Go for it. Nice to make. I'm so tempted to try these cheap amps. Okay. Aim at A07. I don't watch TV. All right. So here we go. We only had one vote for now. So I'm gonna talk about it. So Star Wars is my favorite thing in the world. Oh, not my favorite. Favorite entertainment, like favorite story. So I love Star Wars. I thought Mandalorian season 1 was awesome. I think season 2 was okay, pretty good. Season 3, like I'm not into it. The first episode looked like a cartoon. And some of the stuff didn't make any sense. And then the space pirates, I thought that was just an unnecessary storyline. Then they just had a stupid space battle where he ends up like light speeding away, where he could have done that just from the beginning. So episode 2 was better, but like this last episode was so terrible. And it opens up with the Mandalorians, which in theory are like the best warriors in the galaxy. And they're all stuck together like on a beach, like training, just randomly doing stuff. And what it looked like was a bunch of kids in cosplay waiting to get into Comic-Con. Like that's what it looked like, kids in cosplay getting ready to do paintball without them spreading out. It was laughable. And then this giant space bird picks up one of the little Mandalorians and takes them off. And it's amazing because the dialogue was so crappy. Like Bo-Katan says, we need to go after this child, instead of being just like, let's go and getting up and go. Like they were telling rather than showing. So anyway, there's a giant space bird. They go after it, but they can't like land at the giant bird nest because it's going to eat or kill the child. But it takes them 2 days to get there. So this giant bird stole a human. They finally get to the bird's nest, the giant space bird's nest. There's 2 baby giant space birds. The mama bird shows up, regurgitates the baby Mandalorian or the kid Mandalorian, who seemingly does not have a scratch on him. So 2 days have passed and the giant space bird has not eaten, nor has it fed the Mandalorian to its offspring. And then of course they conquer the bird, kill the bird, everybody's fine. They get back and they brought back the baby birds to apparently raise them. It was bad. It was like Buck Rogers B sci-fi TBS style of writing. It was terrible, and I am absolutely heartbroken because it's just not good. I'll still watch it, but man, I am so depressed about it. So depressed. Anyway, that's the Mandalorian. Speaking of the AIM at 807, does the 36 volt 10 amp power supply give the amp a hum? Or is it okay to add a higher power supply? I don't know about the 36 volt. I had some experience with 48 volt 10 amp. There was a bit of a hum about 1200 hertz, 1100 hertz. But I mean, if you want massive amounts of power, I will say this: the 36 volt and the 32 volt power supplies that have been coming with these things have been really solid power supplies. So there may be some 48 volt 10 amps around that will work, but I don't know. I'm a Patreon and love the channel. I'm not sure I agree with you on Cambridge amps. I own the CA81 and love it, but I'm using large JBL 4312G speakers. What have I said about Cambridge amps? I've only had 2 in and I've loved them both. Actually, no. I think it was the 25 watt one. I loved it. I liked it a lot. I don't know. I don't think I've ever said a negative thing about a Cambridge amp. I think some people have mentioned to me that outside of the CA 25 and 35 or XA 25 and 35, they don't have the magic that the 25 and 35 have, but I've never said negative things about them. Chord Mojo 2 really beefs up the output power of the AIM. I hope so. It's like a $700 DAC. Yeah. The average audio, the IEMA website has a good grid to show what power supplies work and what doesn't. Agree with the wonky stuff in last night's Mando with the bird, maybe setting up Bo-Katan to be more leisurely. I'm cool, but like the writing, there was about 3 different instances in that show where they didn't have to include like the dialogue. They could have just done it. And I was like, and even the editing, like when they started climbing up the mountain, they cut to them, they were still, and then they walked up to the mountain. Like, I cannot believe something's edited like this. I mean, you edit it like as they're walking. Like you don't edit it when they're stopped and then they start walking as a group. I mean, it looked like this was a really bad like shot in one take every time. Like take, action. Okay, we're good. Let's move on. It was really disappointing. Really, really disappointing to me. Sorry, the new Mandalorian sounds almost as bad as the 1978 Star Wars Christmas special. It's not quite that bad, which incidentally I've seen. But the stories seem just disjointed. Like maybe it pulls it all together in the next few episodes. But these first 4 episodes, the first one looked like a cartoon. The I don't know, second and third one were pretty good, but like the Mandalorian had to been saved twice by Bo-Katan, which is cool, but like, and then like Grogu, like he gets captured underneath the Mandalorian mine, and then Grogu, it's like Lassie, go get Bo-Katan, Lassie, go get help, Lassie, and then Grogu just knows how to get into the ship and fly light years away, and does it fast enough to come back, and then all of a sudden he gets saved. I mean, it's just kind of, come on. It doesn't have to be this way. Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed directed the latest Mando episode. I don't know. Like, I don't know who wrote the latest Mando. I've heard that Jon Favreau has written a lot of them, but I cannot comprehend anybody like directing it and being like you don't need, or editing it. Maybe it's the editing. Like I cannot comprehend anyone editing that show and leaving that in, like all this unnecessary dialogue. Sorry, the dog's barking. Movie Junkie John, going through awful time in my life. Just wanted to say thank you for streams and knowledge. You're helping me with recommendations. I am so sorry, man. I think we've talked about stuff. Whatever you're going through, man, I'm sending you positive vibes, and everybody please send some positive vibes Movie Junkie John's way, because it is tough. One of the great things about going through difficult things, though, is being able to sit down, close your eyes, and listen to music. It is the ultimate antidepressant, or it could be a depressant, depending on what type of music you're listening to. But in all serious, man, thank you for the $4.99 and sending you positive vibes, my friend. Curious if you watched all the Clone Wars anime. I watched most of them, but they also threw out most of them out of canon. And then I think the last season of Clone Wars they said was canon. Which cartridge are you using on your Metallica project, and any plans on changing? So right now, this is the Pickett S2. It's like $100 cartridge, but it's got a removable head shell, and I've put the gold ring on there. I've put the 2M blue on there, and I've put I haven't put the Nug Oak on there, but yeah. So I Pickett S2 is, I think, the cartridge. So I've just been kind of sticking with that one, but yeah, I don't care too much about like, is this the perfect sounding turntable? I just kind of turn it on and enjoy it. Check out the Weem voice remote, guys. So convenient I heard that Weem has a remote control. One of my patrons actually got it. Less CGI in movies, please. Thank you. I mean, less bad CGI. I mean, it is amazing. I was watching Kenobi, and there was a point where like the Empire landed and they were getting out of it. And I mean, it just flat out looked bad. Then if you watch Andor, Like Andor is all shot on like location, and there's hardly any CGI, or at least the CGI in Andor is really well done. But the CGI has just gotten terrible, 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 terrible. Just an observation. I've blown 2 topping and 1 Savage headphone amps, giving me static discharge to the side. Wow. My vacuum tube locks G seems to be impervious to static discharge. Holy cow. I have never heard that before, man. That is terrible. And I would be talking to Topping and Savage. Wow. Ortofon makes most of the Project OEM carts. Oh, very cool. Have you heard of anyone powering their home theater setup with a group of cheap amps? Yes, me. And maybe even bi-amping the fronts. Yes, right now, Andor's the best. Yeah, I agree. Andor's been the best Star Wars TV show thus far. Yes, Andor's amazing. Yeah. So right now, I have the RMC1L, which is just a processor. So I have it hooked up to the XPA Gen 2, which is only 2 channels, although I'm going to send that back and get more channels added to it. And then I have 2 crappy Class D amplifiers back there. One of them's running the center channel, and the other one's running like the Dolby height channels. So absolutely. Yeah. And depending upon which channel it is, like I want the beef to go to center, left, and right. I don't have a 3-channel, really good 3-channel amp to do that. Although I do have 2 of the Emotiva mono blocks. So I guess I could stack one of those on there and run the center from that. But they're huge, right? So one of the things, convenient things about some of these Class Ds is just how small they are. So I don't have to have an entire stack of craziness over there for my home theater. But eventually I'm sending the XPA back in. I think they're at the Montreal Audio Show though right now. So eventually I'm going to send them all in. So I will have 8 total channels in my XPA amp. And then if I need to run any more channels, I'll probably use maybe one of these Class Ds or something. Andor is amazing. Are the Hi-Fi XS worth the upgrade from the Sundaras? Personally, I think they are. It depends though. If you're not into like bass, probably not. I just think the XS have a lot more. They're a lot funner, more fun on the low end than the Sundaras. I think the Sundaras are great. Running through a Marantz 2325 with no amp. That's a vintage, right? 2325. Because if it's a vintage, it actually has a headphone amp. It's pretty good at discrete headphone amp. Like old vintage receivers have great headphone amps and great phono preamps. But it's I would consider it if you want more bass. You would be surprised how much CGI was used in the industry. Bad CGI is what always stands out. Well, it's just, I mean, it's just terrible. All the Marvel movies now just look like cartoons. It's really sad. I'm sad about it. Very sad. I just want a decent Star Wars show. I mean, how hard is it just to make a decent show? You got the Mandalorian. Go fight some people. Have them have something that Mando needs. Go fight them. And then like connect one episode to the other. And like leave out the giant space birds. Or if the giant space birds capture somebody, then don't pretend like that person is not going to get eaten right away or fed to the small. I mean, there's so many plot, and I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and I'm like pointing out like these plot holes. Like if they're the best fighters or the best warriors in the galaxy, why do they look like a bunch of kids getting to go play paintball? Like nerds getting ready to go play paintball. I mean, and the camera angles like are just bad. Just bad. The Spacebird arc was bad. CGI ruined Spider-Man sequels. Yeah, Spider-Man sequels started getting to look like cartoons. And to be fair, the last Spider-Man was about the only really successful show. And it wasn't even really a Marvel show. That's more of a Sony show. They should eat those damn baby birds. Yeah, I don't know what the heck they're doing with those baby birds. Hey, $10. Dan Insold. Hey, Randy, which sounds better, the Cambridge AX825 or the Schiit G horn? Oh, the G horn is okay. The AX825 is really syrupy, really thick, very romantic. So, I mean, it reminds me of my Macintosh C15 preamp. That's what the AX8 sounds like. It's like a Denon PMA 600NE, but thicker. So there's not a ton of, a lot more resolution on the G horn. A lot more resolution. So if you want, romantic and warm, AX825. If you want something more neutral, G horn. Yep. All right. Filoni's Clone Wars animated series is better than The Mandalorian. Well written and tons of character development without being boring. Yeah, at this point, like, I just wanted to be better than like Boba Fett. And I thought it was. The first episode, I'm like, this feels like Boba Fett. Second episode was better. Third episode, I'm like, why did we spend 45 minutes on two characters I don't really care about that were former Empire? And then this last episode, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, quit screwing this up. But anyway, Bad Batch. Yeah, I watched that. So yeah. It's like listening to a distant AM broadcast filtered through a wet sock. There you go. All right, 11:02. We need to call it a day. I have to go to the cardiologist. So no big deal. Stress test, calcium score, then done with all this health stuff for the year. So I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you for watching. You've made my dreams come true. I hope you have a great day, great rest of your week. More videos are coming today. I've got to edit one, and then it needs to go off to get approval from a sponsor, and then hopefully it'll be up tomorrow by noon. So anyway, love you all. Have a great day. Be safe. Be kind. Be awesome. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. 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 Bye.